Hi everyone, I'm Tjaša from Wolfy Draws and welcome to my channel. So for this week I decided to recreate this fantasy painting I made and I wanted to make it look better. So I started with lining everything and then I'm going to shift it into perspective. As you can see here, I decided to do a 1-point perspective and use boxes to place and position everything to make our eye be led to the perspective point, and for also to emphasize on the main character and different sizes of the things. So for the background I decided to include trees and make it like a swamp forest kind of thing. And for the right side I decided there would be a giant rock cliff, because why not? I thought it would give some structure. And for the flowers I just decided to do some water lilies. I think that's how it's called. I don't know, like the usual pond type flowers. And I decided to do some mushrooms. For the original painting I decided to make like glowing mushrooms and something special. That was the main goal. I didn't know how to achieve that, so here with digital art I can easily achieve that. So I will add them into the painting later at the end to keep the glow effect like in the same spot. I don't know how to explain it, but I did it like that for a reason. So for the main character I decided to have them wear a cloak and have slightly longer hair. I'm going for like a male character vibe, I think. And I wanted to emphasize the mystery part, like he's a traveling wanderer or something, traveling trader or something like that, you know, magic and stuff. Sorcerer maybe. I wanted to include the staff, but I didn't like any of like the super detailed staff. I just wanted it to be plain simple. So like he would be able to quote unquote disguise it when he's wandering around and doesn't want people to know he uses magic. So like saying the magical glowing ball disappears when it's not being used and it just looks like a walking stick. So for the colors I decided to use more muted colors. I don't know, I just thought the more muted look would fit kind of the swamp atmosphere and the overall mystery effect. So for the water I decided to give this kind of tealish blue, and I really love this color. I think it looks amazing. And for the water effect I decided to just put a lot of random lines to just emphasize kind of the ground under the water, like the water isn't deep. And then I decided to put some motion around the flowers and everything, and the trees of course, like waves from the walking or from the moving of the flowers in the water and everything. Like, I don't know, maybe there's fish inside. And then I went on to the highlights. I did the same highlights where I did the shadow because that felt more natural to me because of the waves. And then I basically just repeated that everywhere. Yeah. Waiting for that to blur out, because I always blur out my shadows and highlights for that to make them feel more smoother and kind of fit into the drawing. I never really leave sharp highlights except into the eyes. I don't know why. For the eyes I just think sharp highlights really bring the deal and make it look alive. So for the coloring of the water I also added like some shadows, and like the color is shifting into the water. As you see from beneath the ball I already added the glow. I will add the glow to the ball later. So right now I'm focusing on the cliff. I don't know, I wanted it to make look like over time, like over the years, the rocks just fell off. I don't know, maybe like mountains separated, I don't know. Considering it's a fantasy theme and motif, I think it's pretty open to what happened. So for the trees I did a simple like shading from up and a little onto the sides, because like the highlights and everything is coming from the water also because the light is bouncing off. And I did the trees in the row towards the back, making him lighter, because I also made the whole background lighter when you go towards when you go further away to emphasize the depth. And I must say I made a great mistake, because while outlining the trees I didn't outline completely. it didn't capture the actual outline I drew. So I had to end up like redoing the whole outline around, not the whole trees, just the whole outline, because I didn't seem to be able to fill it in any other way. So for the main character, you can see me using more of the grays and blacks, just to emphasize like the simplicity of the cloak. Like it's not some magical colors or anything, it's supposed to look simple. And here I'm adding the glow that the staff will radiate onto the trees and onto the character himself. And there we go, the glow. So for the water lilies, I think that's how it's called. I'm not sure for the word in English, but I know what they are supposed to be. I decided to change them a bit and keep a yellow center. I thought a pop of a different color would fit, just to make things a bit more interesting, a bit more wow, just bouncing out, because the mushrooms, as I said, they will be blended into the background like slightly because of the muted colors. So as you can see, I made the flowers a little on the darker grayish side. I don't know why, but for some reason while I was creating this, I always had like the kind of rotting look a little bit in my head. I didn't really want to go for green, I just wanted to go for like older, maybe like it's been there for a while, you know, since they're quite large. And for the mushrooms, I just did some simple coloring, nothing special actually. And then I added also the highlights from the staff to the flowers and the mushrooms. For most of the things, I also added a blue light on the bottom, as you saw me do for the cliffs and for the mushrooms, just to make sure that the light and color is bouncing off from the water. And I also added the fog for the mystery. The further back felt really empty, so I wanted to put something there, and I thought fog and mist, I think that could work together. It also adds to the mystery aspect of it, so I think it looks okay. It was my first time drawing fog and mist, so I think it turned out okay. And here I'm adding like the glowing mushrooms. I really wanted the eye to lead forward there into the back through the light. I also kept putting the white layer over everything and putting it in the color settings on color, so it would show the picture in grayscale, as you can see me doing here, just to check the values and how things stand out or blend together. So I added some simple shading around the corners, added my signatures and the watermark. So this is how it started, and this is how it's now. So I really like the improved version. I think we lost a little bit of the brightness, but I think it looks amazing. What do you say? Bye bye!